Right, so the next little thing we want to do with our animation is actually kind of play around and set a collision in midair between this cube and another cube. Now, I don't just want it to drop because that's just, well, plain boring. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually experiment a bit. So first thing, I'm going to get this a bit higher up. And then I'm going to add a curve, and I'm going to add myself a Bezier curve. Here's a simple Bezier curve. I'm going to move it up, and as you can see, it's just a little thing like this. It's not very big. I'm just going to rotate it along Z to get into this position here, and then scale it right the way up. Okay, not too much because I want this to work exactly how I want it to, and you can see I've got like a twist in it. I'm going to just slightly play around with the curvature itself on the curve. Hopefully I've got this just about right. I might need to pull this slightly here. I need to basically make sure that whatever's happening here interferes with this cube. I'm then going to add myself another cube, and I'm going to just very carefully nudge it into position. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of things. So on this cube, I'm actually going to add some physics. I'm going to make it collidable. Then on top of that, I'm also going to add a constraint, and I'm going to make that constraint a follow path. And that follow path is going to be the Bezier curve. Now you can see it's kind of snapped and gone far too far away, so I'm just going to G and Z it down. And now that should be online. Now what's going to happen then is I'm going to follow my curve, and then I'm going to, it helps if I remember everything, animate my path, and there we go. Now that cube is now moving along the Bezier curve. Okay, next little thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that these two things here actually have a chance of hitting this other cube as we go. I really want this cube to ram into this one and affect its trajectory. Boom! And there we go. You can see I've completely knocked it for 6, and it's kind of bounced off the edge of the plane. And you can see what's happening here is the actual cube is, and I'll go into 7 on my numpad just to show you this. It's actually following that curve, and it's kind of smacking that cube as it goes and really creating, and you can see the ripples as it impacts, and you can actually see the pressure hit it, and it throws it off, and then it even hits it again just by look of the curve. Now what we've got to decide then is, well, do we really need our camera still following this one, or do we want it following this one instead? So in order to do that, we've got our camera, and in our previous video we set it up to track to the empty. Now the problem, well, it's not a problem actually, it should be able to track the cube instead, which we can see, yeah, now that it's actually tracking the moving cube. Boom, bonk, and it's gone, and there we go. And it's really our choice where we want that camera to follow, and it depends what we want for most dramatic effect. There we go, dead simple. Okay, setting up a cube to follow a path and also behave as part of the overall animation to create collisions and affect the other parts of the animation. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you for the next video.